Governor Florio has served as a member of the New Jersey General Assembly, a member of the House of Representatives, and a governor of our fair state. As a member of Congress, Governor Florio authorized the Superfund legislation. Do we care about the Superfund legislation out there? He was involved in drafting the almost federal environment legislation as the chairman of the House of the Subcommittee of the Jurisdiction of Environment Matters. Throughout his time as governor, he signed several environmental pieces of legislation into law, including the Clean Water Environment Act of 1990. We have him to thank. He now serves as the chairman of his law firm's Energy Environment. I don't know. This man is a champion for each and every one of us. He's the champion for science. He's the champion for the families of New Jersey. Our very own Governor Florio.
This is very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. It restores my faith in a whole lot of things over the last couple of years I've been a little shaky on. I want to talk to you about some facts. I want to talk to you about some very interesting things that have developed in terms of being a problem for us to deal with, and we're dealing with it today. You know, the 20th century was regarded by some people as the oil century. It was a time when people were saying that the major literal lubricant of our transportation system was oil. And that oil was so significant to the 20th century that it really dominated our thinking in terms of economics, in terms of our whole society. But in the 21st century, we've come to understand the problems associated with fossil fuels. We've come to understand the problems associated with oil. And I would make the argument that the 21st century is going to be the century of not oil, but of water. That water is going to be the new oil. And water, like oil, is going to be involving the pricing of water is going to be important. The quality and the quantity of water is going to be important. That water, like oil in the last century, water will determine our economic viability, our social viability, all kinds of questions that are of great significance, including items of war and peace. Fights and war armies will fight over water in this century that we're in. As we get ready to celebrate today, Earth Day, it's time for us to think about what the significance of this day has been and what it's going to be in the future. First and foremost, we have to be very sensitive to and opposing the budget reductions taking place in Washington. We're very lucky to have Congressman Pallone in Washington because he's going to be leading the fight. Against a 31% reduction in the monies for EPA. That's crazy. That's going to result in 3,000 workers protecting the environment being eliminated. That's an effort to really de facto repeal environmental laws. They don't have the guts to do it out front, so what they want to do is cut the money, cut the personnel, so we'll have non-enforcement of those laws, effectively repealing our environmental laws which are designed to protect our air and our water. EPA reductions in Superfund, for example. New Jersey has the questionable distinction of having more Superfund sites in our state than any other state. Think about it for a moment. We have over 110 Superfund sites. These are sites that are imminent and substantial hazards to people's health and the environment. We have 21 counties, 110 sites. That means we have an average of 5 of these dangerous sites per county. Nobody lives very far away from one of these sites. These sites constitute substantial hazards to our drinking water systems. The hazardous waste in these sites leach into our groundwater and our surface water. These are serious, serious problems. And yet somebody in Washington is looking to try to cut away our ability to remediate these very serious toxic sites. And the related issue, if we defund EPA's capability of enforcing our environmental laws, one of the laws that they will not carry out is something called the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act. RCRA, it's referred to. And it's the law that prescribes how we go forward, making sure that we no longer just randomly dispose of toxic materials, no longer being able to create new Superfund sites. If we don't enforce it, what will happen is these materials will be disposed of randomly, as they were in the past. We'll be creating new Superfund sites, which is insane. But that's what will happen if we defund these programs. Likewise, the failure to take into account climate change. And we will do that if we have somebody in charge of EPA that doesn't believe in climate change, which we have right now. Because if we don't take remedial measures to deal with climate change, we're going to have a continuing rise in the sea level. Rise in the sea level means we're going to have saltwater intrusion going up the Delaware River, going up the Hudson River, infiltrating our freshwater aquifers with the salt line as it moves up. Serious, serious problem. In similar fashions, draconian cuts to the Clean Water Act will impair our ability to go and take stormwater out of wastewater treatment plants. That will result in combined sewer overflows, what they call CSOs. And that will result, as it did when Superfund Sandy came in and infiltrated our water systems, contaminating water as a result of sewage overflows out of our treatment plants. New Jersey has already experienced Flint, Michigan-like pollution in our schools of lead into water systems. The proposed reduction in funding to deal with that problem will result in serious problems as well. If you think about it, New Jersey's thoughtful Republican leaders, Governor Kane, Governor Whitman, have been very good in standing up for clean water. Hopefully their persuasion will induce our congressional delegation to be able to be supportive of stopping these harmful cuts from taking place. So if water is the new oil, the key to social and economic well-being, it's important for us all to understand that we have a commitment to stop these harmful reductions from taking place in Washington. We need to rededicate ourselves to ensuring that Earth Day has meaningful impact upon all of us. There's nothing we can do that is more important. I've always believed clean air, clean water, the clean earth is the most important thing any of us can do, anyone. So, congratulations. If we can mobilize the energy that I sense is in this crowd to bring common sense, scientific validity to this effort, we'll prevail and get beyond this difficult time that we're experiencing right now. Hope is the future. the young people that are here have an investment in a good, clean future for the future. Congratulations and good luck.